You're here to learn to read and write. I'm here to show you how. This is our lesson about the letter D that says D. Let's get started with a review of what we learned in the last lesson. Last time we learned that primary paper has a top line, a midline, and a baseline. Why don't you get out your piece of paper and make a dark line on the top line, and make a dotted line on the midline, and make another dark line on the baseline to show that you know where those lines are. Also, last lesson, we learned how to write a lowercase b by going from the top line to the baseline, up to the midline and around. And we learned how to write an uppercase B by going from the top line to the baseline, up to the top again, and do 2 bumps, just like that. Lowercase b that says B, and uppercase B that says B. Now today, we're going to add 2 more letters to the ones that you know. How to write and how to say their sound. We're going to do a lowercase d that says D and an uppercase D that says D. Now, a lot of kids confuse the lowercase b that says B with the lowercase d that says D, because they look kind of similar. They're both just lines with circles. Line with circle, see? So here's a kind of easy way to remember it. The B, the little b, is like the big B, in that if you took an eraser and erased this away from the big B, I erased too much. Let me draw him back a little bit. If you erase one of those bumps off the big B, you just get a little b. You can't do that with the D, okay? So little b is like big B, but little d is not like big D. Maybe that will help. Now, let's practice our little d. What we're going to do is you start in kind of an awkward spot. You start just below the midline here. And then you go towards the left to make your bump up to the top line and down to the baseline. Okay? So you start a little below the midline, and it's like you're writing a C. I know we haven't covered C yet, but I'll show you a C. I'm sure you know what it looks like, but there it is. That's C. So a D is kind of like a C with a line. I find it the easiest to do it all in one stroke. So instead of writing C with a line, you write your curve, and you move up, and you move down. Then you can write faster. Okay, so I just did 6 lowercase d's. You don't have to do that many, maybe just do 5. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you write them, you can say their sound. D, 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 D. All right? Let's do this now with the uppercase D that says D. We're going to do 5 of these. So we start at the top line, we go to the baseline, we go up and around to the top line again, and all the way, curve all the way down to the baseline. Capital D that says D. And let's do it again. Down, up, big curve. Down, up, big curve. Down, up, big curve. Down, up, big curve. All right. Now, change your color. Get a crayon or a marker, I want you to look over your work and pick the one that you like the best. Which of these D's that says duh do you like the best? You know what? I like my last one the best. So I'm going to circle that and give it some stars. Good job. And let's do the same with the uppercase D's. I like this one the best. So I'm going to circle it and give it some stars. Some of these weren't very smooth. See that? It's kind of an imperfection right there. So I'm giving this one the stars. Imperfections are okay though. The point is, you want other people to know that this is a D that says duh. And if they know that, then you're good. All right? Now let's think of some words. Let's just think of one word that begins with the letter D. How about dog? All right, let's write that over here. I want you to write D, O, G. All right, so D can come at the beginning of the word, D, O, G, dog. Now, how about at the end of a word? Mud. M, I'm going to write this, M, U, D. D. Here, the D that says D is at the end of a word. And it can also come in the middle of a word, like the word middle. So write this one out. M, I, D, D, L, E. When you see two consonants together like this, you really only have to say the sound once. So this is I, D, O, middle. All right. Now, on the next page here, I have a picture for you to look at. This is a grandfather clock. And I know a nursery rhyme about this. I don't know if you do. It goes like this. Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse went up the clock. The clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Now, did you hear the D sound in that? I bet you did. We're going to write this little nursery rhyme out on our piece of paper. The first line goes, Hickory Dickory Dock. So, CK says K, H says H, I says I, CK says K, hick, OR says or, hickor, and in this case the Y makes a long E sound, E, hickory. Now here's our first D sound. If you're new to writing, you can just write the D's, okay? There's a D that says D, I that says I, CK that says K, OR that says or, Y that says a long E, dickory, hickory, dickory. We do commas to show a pause. A D that says D, an O that says ah, and a CK that says K. Hickory, dickory, dock. And we put a period at the end of this line here to complete our thought. Hickory, dickory, dock. Next line. The mouse ran up the clock. Do you hear a D sound in this? The mouse. No D sound there. Ran up. No D sound there. The clock. Nope. There is no letter D in this line. The mouse ran It's a R that says A that says N that says The mouse ran up, UP. I don't know if I'm going to have room on this line. That's okay. Just go to the next line. The mouse ran up the clock. So there was no D in that line. Our next line is, the clock struck 1. Did you hear a D that says duh? Nope. The clock struck STRUCK. The clock struck 1. We'll do a comma here. Pause. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Do you hear a D sound in this line? The mouse ran down. Oh, D and down. Yeah. If you are just writing the letter D, you're about to get to write another letter D. The mouse ran down. D. D that says D. OW that says ow. N that says n. The mouse ran down. A comma for a pause. And then we repeat the first line. Hickory Dickory Dock. With 2 more D sounds in this line. HICKORY. Hickory, comma for a pause. Dickory. D. There's our D that says D. Dickory. And a comma again. I don't really have enough room for my Y because of the size of the screen here. Normally, this tail on the Y would go a little lower. Hickory Dickory Dock. And that just about completes our lesson. Let me show you one last thing. I want you to underline all the D's that say D, okay? You can use a different color if you want. I'm going to use green. Here's a D in dickory, a D that says D in dickory, a D that says D in dock, a D that says D in down, a D that says D in dickory, again, and a D that says D in dock, again. Okay, so I hope that helps you remember that the letter D says D, and just get to see how that letter works inside of words. Our next lesson is going to be about the letter F that says F. So I hope you'll join me.